back with another one.
Yeah, ain't no games,
Man,
not at
these
all.
TikToks are making mine wonder.
Time to get
Make
right,
sure you
mama.
like and subscribe.
You did.
Understand why Western civilization is very different than the Islamic world. You need to understand the history of Islam. When Prophet Muhammad supposedly revealed his revelation from the angel Gabriel that he is supposed to be the last of the prophets in the early 600s, he started preaching in his own city, Mecca. He tried to recruit friends and followers to be able to spread his religion. And he tried for 12 years and failed. And after 12 years, he was only able to recruit his immediate family and friends. So he decided, if I go to Medina, which was the Jewish hub of Arabia, the business hub where the Jews lived, if I go there and preach my religion to them, if they accept me, that will buy me respect and stature between my own people, and they will accept me. So Prophet Muhammad started borrowing a lot from the Old Testament to make his religion more palpable to the Jews, to make it a lot similar. This is why you see a lot of similarities between Judaism and Islam. For example, Jews don't eat pigs, Muslims don't eat pigs. Jews pray a few times a day, Muslims pray a few times a day. Jews fast on Yom Kippur, Muslims fast on Ramadan. And this is why you started seeing a lot of good writing in the beginning of the Quran when Prophet Muhammad was saying all the good things about the people of the book. He took his message and went to Medina trying to recruit the Jews, talking about the people of the book, talking about how similar the two religions are. When they refused to accept him and follow him as the last of the prophet, that's when he turned against them and started killing them and started expelling them. That's when Islam went from a spiritual movement for the first 12 years of Islam into a political movement cloaked in religion after the year of the Hijrah, after Muhammad went to Medina and the Jews did not accept him. He became a military warrior and declared war on them and started expelling them. Jews and Christians became dhimmi, or second-class citizens. They were only allowed to stay alive and not be killed only by paying the jizya or the protection tax. So they had a choice: convert to Islam, or if you want to stay alive, you have to pay the jizya or protection tax, living as dhimmi in the Islamic nation. Christians and Jews could not ring church bells. Jews could not blow the shofar. Christians could not ring church bells. They could not pray publicly. Christians and Jews could not gather together and build new churches or new temples. And the way they paid the jizya or the protection tax was in a monthly ceremony where they would get together downtown and the Jew would kneel on his knee and hand his goods to the mullah, who would take the goods as the price for buying the protection. And in many areas, Jews and Christians were given necklaces to wear as a receipt that they paid their jizya or their protection tax. Jews considered najis under Islam. Najis is bodily fluid. Najis is garbage. Najis is dogs. Najis is dirty. So Christians and Jews were treated as second-class citizens. Islam continued to grow. As Islam grew, more people became dhimmi or second-class citizens. Jews and Christians were given identifiable clothing. The yellow star, which was given to the Jews that most people think is a German invention. It was actually an Islamic invention in the 9th century in Iraq by the second Khalif al-Mutawakkil of Iraq, who invented the yellow star for the Jews to be identified as they walked down the street. Because Jews were considered najis, if a Muslim man or a Jew walked on the same side of the street, the Jew had to cross the other side so the Muslim man can walk, so he's not dirtied by the filth of the Jew. Christians were given the zunnar, the belt, which most of you men are wearing right now. That was an Islamic invention for the Christians. Islam continued to grow. They went all the way to Jerusalem. They conquered Jerusalem. Christians couldn't ring their church bells in Jerusalem. The Pope in Rome in 1090 told the Christians, how could you sit idly by and allow your brethren to suffer like this in the Holy Land? You need to go liberate the Christians. You need to go help the Christians. That's why the Crusaders were launched. The Crusaders were not launched because they just felt like waking up in the morning and going and converting a bunch of Muslims or beheading them. The Crusaders were launched to liberate Jerusalem. And they were able to liberate Jerusalem for less than 100 years before Salah ad-Din al-Ayyubi, Saladin, took it back, and Jerusalem remained under Islamic control until 1967, when the State of Israel liberated Jerusalem, where Christians, Jews, and Muslims could pray under the same sky. The Crusaders continued fighting Islam, and for 300 years they tried and failed. And by the 1300s, the Crusaders disappeared because they could not win against Islam. Islam continued to expand. They went all the way to Central Europe. They went all the way to China. They went to India. They conquered Spain. They changed the name of Spain from Spain to Andalusia. And they started, as they advanced, as they conquered more nations, more people paid the jizya, or the protection tax. And this is how the Islamic Empire grew. It went all the way until they was stopped at the gates of Vienna on 9/11. 9/11 is not a date that Osama bin Laden just picked out of a hat. 9/11 is a symbolic date in the Islamic calendar. By the 1600s, Islam had covered more of the earth's surface than the Roman Empire did at its peak. Between the 1600s and the 1800s, the Europeans were experiencing the European Industrial Revolution, where the Europeans were able to invent products on factory lines, where they are able to make money and sell products, which gave them the money to build a strong army in order to fight the Muslims. And that's how they were able to stop them at the gates of Vienna on 9/11. The Europeans started the pushback against Islam. They pushed them out of Europe. They pushed them out of all the way to the Middle East and North Africa. By 1924, the Islamic Empire ended. In 1924, the Islamic Caliphate ended in Turkey by President Ataturk, who was a secularist. He ended the Islamic Empire, and he gave women rights to vote. He gave women a right to an education, a right to work, a right to choose a husband. He forbid women from wearing the hijab. He forbid men from wearing the beard. The Muslims hate him so much that they consider him a Jewish agent, because they believe that his mother in her bloodline was Jewish, and that was the influence on Ataturk. By the time the Islamic Empire, or the Islamic Caliphate, or the Islamic State ended in 1924, the Islamic Caliphate had existed for 1400 years, and it ended less than 100 years ago. By the time the Islamic Caliphate ended in 1924, 270 million people around the world were killed by Islam. 270 million. And we didn't have weapons of mass destruction, and there was nuclear weapons. All of these people were killed, butchered by the sword. The people in the world, less than 100 years ago. Two things you need to understand about Islam and the principles of war in Islam. One is the law of taqiyya, which means lying and deception. It means that a Muslim man can lay his hand on the Quran and swear that he is telling the truth, knowing that he is lying, but also knowing that the Quran will forgive him because he is advancing the cause of Islam. The second thing you need to know about is that the Treaty of Al-Hudaybiyah, which is an Islamic principle of war and a model on how to deceive your enemy when you have to sign peace treaties with your enemy. And it is based on an example by Prophet Muhammad. Prophet Muhammad was attacking the Meccans and their caravans when he was living in Medina. One day he attacked them because this is how he got the goodies. He would attack them, rob them, and spread the goodies among his men. And this is how he was able to recruit, because this is how people made money without working. And so he attacked the Meccan caravans. When he realized he's not able to defeat the Meccans in that city of Al-Hudaybiyah, in that place, he signed a 10-year treaty with them. Does that sound familiar? A 10-year treaty with them that says he will not attack them, he will have peace with them, he will not declare war on them. Muhammad used the treaty for 2 years to build his military, strengthen his army, and when he realized he was strong enough to attack his enemies when they least expected it, because they thought they had a peace treaty with Muhammad, he broke the treaty, attacked them 2 years later, and Mecca fell within 24 hours because they were not expecting the attack. And that became a principle of war in Islam.
Oh, this is amazing. Look here. This is just amazing. Look at this.
No ways. Look at that.
Wow.
Oh my God, girl. You should see.
This is just.
No, that's
this is,
unbelievable.
This is. Yo. I saw the.
And then,
wow.
That's
I don't even have it on. Yeah. Aber das ist gut, man kann sich vor allen Dingen in dieser Kamera auch sehen, ob man das gleich nicht verteilt.
My baby, my Valentine. Can I hit the Mickey with the temperature? If you leave me a good time, I swear. You are like the oxygen I need to survive. I'll be honest. I'm loving the thought of me. I am so obsessed. I want to chop your heart. Never did it back at this street. Open up, make us feel. Yeah, my love one thing. Make a bad man sing. But then I follow come, love is really kind. I got the finish work. Without you, I could feel lose my mind. Without you, I could feel fall and die. Without you, I could give up my life. Without you, never did it back at this street. Open up, make us feel. Yeah, my love one thing. Make a bad man sing. Another nigga, honey, lover, I wanna be a lover forever.
There's nothing in here but a wire. We want to show that when people connect, they transfer energy.
So energy is really real.
Right. So there's no batteries or nothing in this. This is just we making a closed circuit.
Show it to the locals, guys.
So it just goes to show you that whatever you feel, whatever you do, whatever you say, you actually give off energy to another person. So then when you connect with them,
and he's moving them together. The right hand I already put paint going on, the left hand I did not. So right now I'm about to go ahead and apply some paint be going, and I'm literally just going to do a quick rub down.
This is why I love what I do, because this is awesome that you're really not feeling any pain anymore.
And this was actually at a flea market. I was trying to get my products out there. This was back in 2018. I was in a flea market, and then, you know, he stopped by and I saw that he was in pain, and he told me that he actually wasn't able to drive anymore because of his rheumatoid arthritis. So just look at how fast it was, how quick it was. Look, he already able to ball a fist. And if you notice in the beginning, he was not able to ball a fist.
Yeah, that joint right there. I got that one
Look how he moving it now. Look, you can bend the whole fingers down now.
You're not moving
Look,
it.
look, you can make a fist.
And that was less than a minute.
So this is actually one of my regular clients that still purchase Pain Be Gone from me till this day, and I have been able to better his life.
Miracle.
He's been able to drive. He's been able to work. He's been able to, do what he needed to do in life without being hindered with his rheumatoid arthritis. And that was literally less than a minute of me putting that product on his on his hand.
That's why I said what we're trying to do is we're trying to replace medication. So this is all natural. When you take pain meds, if you take pain meds, I mean, that's nothing but toxic. When you're actually using, chronic pain oil, it's all natural. You have any pain meds?
Okay, Owen.
Okay.
There it is. That is the screw my dad put behind the tree to force it to turn into a female. It was once a male, this papaya tree, but now it's a female. And there you go. That's my pops. Yep. That's the second tree. Third tree. Fourth tree. That's humongous. This thing has a lot in it. Side note, look at these. Look at this. And fifth tree. Another one he turned.
Let's listen to what the CIA agent have to say about tips on being a spy. I think you're going to want to listen.
What is the one spy trick you would teach everyone that they can use to improve their life instantly? Now, you already mentioned quite a few, but what else could jump to mind?
My go-to answer for this has not really changed much over the last few years. So the most important spy trick to change everything immediately is something called perception versus perspective. We all look at the world through our own perception. My dad used to tell me, my stepdad used to tell me that perception is reality. And I was arguing this with him when I was 14 years old. I told you so, Dad, you're still wrong.
Yeah.
But perception is your interpretation of the world around you, but it's unique only to you. There's no advantage in your perception. That's why so many people find themselves arguing all the time, trying to convince other people of their own perception. The way that you win any argument, the way that you get ahead in your career, the way that you outsell or outrace anybody is when you move off of perception and move into perspective. Perspective is the act or the art of observing the world from outside of yourself. Whether that's outside of yourself as like an entity just observing in a third from a different point of view, or even more powerful, you sit in the shoes, you sit in the seat of the person opposite you, and you think to yourself, what is their life like? What do they feel right now? Are they comfortable? Are they uncomfortable? Are they afraid? Are they scared? What's the stressor that they woke up to this morning? What's the stressor that they're going to go to sleep with tonight? When you shift places and get out of your own perception and into someone else's perspective, now you're thinking like them, which is giving you an informational advantage. But you know what they're all doing? Everyone else out there is trapped in their own perception, not thinking about a different perspective. So immediately you have superior information, superior positioning, you have an advantage that they don't have. And if you do that to your boss, it's going to change your career. If you do that to your spouse, it's going to change your marriage. If you do that to your kids, it's going to change your family legacy. Because nobody else out there is doing it. To all my 007H's out there, leave a message in the comments, like or follow for more.
Who is Pimp C Killer?
Can you buddy the nigga who killed my cousin? You got that from a reliable source. Yeah. Yeah. What did you hear? So, the story I heard, it was multiple people inside the hotel room. Female, I think maybe be a male and another male probably. So super tight exclusive. So C went to the restroom and Buddy said, look, y'all don't say nothing. I'm gonna play a joke on Pimp. And he poured something into his drink. And when he came back from the restroom, he started drinking it and almost immediately started throwing up blood. And what made me believe that, I packed sea bags after he passed.
From that same hotel
From that same hotel. I pulled back the cover of the bed and there was blood in the bed. So that's what made me believe that story to be true. So, no, and why, I think what messed it up, and I'm going to just say it like this.
Yes.
People did so much maneuvering around the autopsy to protect what was they might have thought was going to show up. So that kind of changed the outcome of what really came out.
In other words, they weren't looking for that.
They wasn't looking for that.
What you think they were looking for? Drink?
They was looking for drink.
And they found small traces of that. Not enough. They did say it wasn't enough to kill him. Now, y'all do know they said it wasn't enough to kill him.
Yeah.
And he had a prescription for that. And they tried to blame it on sleep apnea.
Yeah.
And them both is what took him out, is what the coroner's report said.
But you know, Mama died saying my baby was poisoned with cyanide. Her wish was to raise up enough money to have the body exhumed.
Yes.
To do her own independent one. But
Never learned about the history of education. I started questioning what I was doing as a teacher by reading the book Dumbing Us Down by John Taylor Gatto. I love that book so much that I decided to read other books by him, and one of the books that he wrote is An Underground History of American Education. I read through that whole book and became absolutely convinced that if people knew the history of American education, we would not be doing what we're doing. Here are some quotes from people who helped to set up our American education system. What is the purpose of industrial education? To fill the young of the species with knowledge and awaken their intelligence? Nothing could be further from the truth. The aim is simply to reduce as many individuals as possible to the same safe level, to breed and train a standardized citizenry, to put down dissent and originality. That is its aim in the United States, and that is its aim everywhere else. H.L. Mencken. If the public schools can keep the children occupied throughout the day with sports after school and homework in the evening, the parents will have less than an hour a day with their children, and the families and Christian churches' influence over them could be broken in about a generation. John Dewey. We who are engaged in the sacred cause of education are entitled to look upon all parents as having given hostages to our cause. Horace Mann. Education should aim at destroying free will, so that after pupils are thus schooled, they will be incapable throughout the rest of their lives of thinking or acting otherwise than as their schoolmasters would have wished.
Human beings are threatened as a whole, that pyramid disappears. The stuff in sci-fi movies is entertainment. So when I think about an alien invasion, when I think about any kind of intelligent life form coming to take over Earth, it's not going to look like it looks in a sci-fi movie.
With all these UAP, UFO, weaponizing space, all the stuff that is kind of starting to be shuffled into the limelight here, it makes me wonder, you know, what is out there that we don't know? And if there is something out there and it does happen to be a threat to our world, I don't think we're going to get very far as we are now, where we're all fighting each other and we're enemies. We're going to have to unite eventually, if that stuff is what some people think it might be.
No, and I completely agree. And what's important to understand there is that remember we were talking about that pyramid of society? There's individualism, tribalism, and then the state. When human beings are threatened as a whole, that pyramid disappears, right? Because now we don't care that you're China and we're America. If there's some kind of invasion, extraterrestrial invasion of Earth, the whole concept of state disappears, because now everybody is trying to just survive. I don't believe that an invasion of Earth would ever look like that. If there's intelligent life out there, you and I are intelligent life. If you had to plan the invasion of another planet, just you by yourself, you would not try to go into that planet.
Brazil after performing some sort of magic trick where loads of money actually appear out of nowhere. A lot of people on the internet are saying that this is actually not a magic trick, that this is more like dark magic or something like that. So I want you to pay very close attention and you tell me what you think is
Tu não gastou dinheiro todo de ontem, tu ainda tem dinheiro pra beber?
Mistério, né? Fazer o quê? Olha aqui. Gastei.
Gastou
mas...
tudo.
Batei?
Gastou
Gastei,
tudo.
Né? Mas ainda tem papel aqui pra não fazer mais. Vou tentar, né? Você vai fazer isso aqui, ó. E aqui não tem negócio de dedo não, viu, bichinho? Vamos tentar aqui fazer umas notinhas aqui. Tem que fazer honey food. Misturando de água linda. Opa, tá começando. Fazer muito dinheiro. Ninguém no mundo faz isso. E aqui não tem negócio de corte, não. Aqui tem... é magia. Tá fazendo, tá indo.
Agora a metade é meu, que tu gastou ontem.
Olha, vamos lá fazer isso aí, ó. Tem 3 mil conto aqui. Sai, menino, sai.
A metade é
What
meu.
is going on here, guys?
Bitch, I'm like, they finna harass me the minute I walk up in here. Nor do I give a fuck. No, thank you. Yeah, I'm gonna have an abortion. That's okay.
No, but I just want you to
No, thank you. No, thank you. No, it's okay. I'm gonna do it regardless. No, thank you. It's okay. No, thank you.
To be able to save the life of this baby, there's a reason why the baby has a mission.
The baby been swimming in Casamigos. I gotta go.
No, but what I'm trying to say is that there's so many ways that we can help you. That this is not it.
Listen up.
My name is President
Listen
Okonjo
to what he's saying. Because he's speaking facts.
The president of Africa. Some of my TikTok people here have called me the African Putin.
They call him,
You
some
can
people
call me whatever you want.
some people call him the president of
The
Africa.
beauty of TikTok is the opportunity for me as president to talk to people from all over the world.
Yes.
I
Thank you,
want to
TikTok.
talk to every world citizen in all 6 continents. Asia, Africa,
Doesn't matter.
America, and the rest of all. I want to talk to you today. Because you see, I am a man who has traveled wide and far. I have traveled all over the world. And I will never understand why in every country there is a gap between the rich and the poor. And the rich are getting richer and the poor are getting poorer.
Yep.
It doesn't matter where you are.
That's
in
right.
India, in Nepal, in Nigeria, in Britain, in America, the rich are getting richer and the poor are getting poorer.
People are speaking up these
And
days.
you have leaders from all over the world.
People are speaking
You
up.
have, thank you very much.
People are speaking
You
up.
have
We need
leaders
more of this.
who
More.
are responsible. I'm good.
Look how
We
good
have
he is.
leaders who are responsible, making a difference to people's lives. Be it in America, in Brazil, in Japan, in Germany, and they are not doing their job right. You deserve better.
Yes.
You deserve a better leader.
You deserve.
You deserve better leaders in the countries that you live in. What I want you to do is this. You need to start getting involved in what is happening in your respective countries.
Yes.
Don't leave it to the politicians in your respective countries to determine your future. You can be the change that is required to make a difference. If you have a government who has been in power and the rich are getting richer and the poor are getting poorer, then you must do something about it. It is
Yes.
really important.
Yes.
You might think that you don't have the ability to do something, but you can galvanize yourselves and do something about it.
Yes.
I really do mean this. It breaks my heart. It breaks my heart to see so many poor people in countries, homeless people in the Western world. It's unbelievable. The
Yes.
rich are getting richer and the poor are getting poorer.
Yes.
And these governments, all they do is promise manifestos and they do not deliver.
They don't. He's right.
You should be talking to your army officers in your respective countries to see what they can do. That is what you should be doing.
I agree.
Galvanize. Get ready to make a difference. Do
Yes.
not leave it to your politicians to make a difference. They will not make a difference. They are there for the lobbyists. They are not there to represent you, the people.
He's right about
And
that.
it really breaks my heart that I can't be president of all 193 countries. I can't be president of all 6 continents. I can only be president of Laughter Republic. But let me tell you right now, it is really, really important that you understand this, and you understand this very well, that I am broadcasting to you today that you can make a difference, a real difference in your respective countries. I want to hear people respond to this, be it from Brazil, Nigeria, whichever country or continent. You can make a difference. Don't let these politicians get away with it. Talk to your army officers in the respective countries to see whether they can do something for you.
God's prophetic time clock. Dust your Bibles off and read Ezekiel 38. There is something more terrifying than the wars and everything going on right now, and that's what this afterlife is without Jesus Christ. There is coming a day that every knee shall bow and every tongue will confess that Jesus Christ is Lord and Savior, and all the people that have made money their God and laid up their treasures on this earth will be very sorry. I'm not trying to scare you. I'm just trying to let you know the fear comes from a life without Jesus Christ. 2 Timothy chapter 1, for God has not given us a spirit of fear, but of power and of love and of a sound mind. So if you are afraid with everything going on in the world right now, accept Jesus Christ as your Lord and personal Savior, and that fear can be taken away. I love you.
Modern day world, most of our women have been raised into complete whores, whether they know it or not. What they wear, what they say, and what they do exposes who they truly are. The Most High said, a shameless woman shall be counted as a dog. Most of our women are trash, sad to say, falling completely out of order and becoming victims to the system, which hurts us as a nation. They've changed the natural order of our women without them realizing. They've changed our women into whores without them realizing it. And they've even turned our women against us without them realizing that either. Women are supposed to be under subjection to their men, but here in America, they are taught to be independent, stubborn, arrogant harlots. The curses are tearing us up. Being under subjection to your man is not a bad thing. A man has his role and a woman has hers. But Esau, the white man, creates a narrative and controls it with his media, hiring our own people like Tyler Perry to destroy the image of the so-called black man, turning us all into deadbeat fathers, faggots, abusers, and anything else that demonizes us so-called black men. If our women had better judgment, they wouldn't end up stuck in these relationships, but they are usually given the wrong advice from their mother, who was too out of order. Mothers usually tell their daughters to date the man with the most money, but the man with the most money isn't always clever when it comes to Israel, with little opportunities or no opportunities. The so-called black men with money are usually drug dealers, robbers, thieves, burglars, etc. So that alone is poor judgment, because once the woman matures, she will rebel against her man. By the time a woman is 18 years old, she has already had more than 5 sex partners. Not knowing that the first man she sleep with is her husband. These women grow up and have sex with everyone, becoming strippers, bottle girls, models, video girls, and even rappers. Whores are now calling themselves life coaches. Megan Thee Stallion and Cardi B alone has slaughtered the minds of so many of our young women, influencing them to be nothing more but raunchy, funky, arrogant hoes. It's so sad to see this play out. Having an OnlyFans account where women are paid to show their ass for money is the new thing. Being on Instagram is like browsing through a catalog, trying to figure out which woman to fly out. By the time these women want to settle down, no one wants them. A body count of 20 plus is normal for a woman, and by that time, they are destroyed, mentally and physically. Thinking that just because they go to church, they are a Proverbs 31 woman. This is why it's so important to teach our young girls early, so they won't fall victim like their mothers have, or possibly their older sisters.